I like to cover the hook shank with my thread. I usually stop right around the hook barb. Then I take my non-lead wire, start roughly halfway and wind forward. Nice thing about the cone, you can kind of hide the lead up inside it. Get rid of the excess. Then I tie in my marabou right about where I ended my thread. And I want my marabou roughly to be the length of the hook shank. And what I'll do is cover it all the way up to the lead. This way it gives me a uniform body when I'm adding the chenille. Trim off the excess. On some woolly bugger patterns, you would add a piece of wire right here to use as a rib. On my buggers, I don't necessarily do that all the time. So my next step would be to add the chenille. I wind my thread all the way back to the cone. I wind the chenille all the way back to the hook cone, winding away from myself. I do 2 to 3 wraps. To secure it. What I like to do is take my fingers and I'll push the thread away and then trim my chenille. This saves you from cutting that thread. I'll then tie in my hackle. As you can see, there's a taper to the hackle. The fattest part I will tie in up by the cone. I do 2 to 3 wraps right here in the beginning, and then I'll space it out as I go back towards the marabou. Then what I like to do is I'll take my thread and I'll wiggle it back and forth as I go down the hook shank. And what this will do is it'll pretty much make this woolly bugger bulletproof. 2 to 3 wraps towards the back just to secure that piece in. And then again, I go right back down the hook shank, just wiggling it back and forth in between the hackle. I'll do 2 to 3 knots, secure that in place. The great thing about a woolly bugger is you can do many color combinations to get the fly pattern you want. Black and red is a great leech pattern. I'll trim off this excess hackle, and the fly is ready to fish.